Oh my gosh, you guys. So it's been a while since I've done one of these, but this is really gonna be kind of like a story time thing regarding a very recent experience that I just had. So for those of you that know me very, very well, or that I'm very close to, know that I have previously auditioned for The Bachelor. And so when I applied for The Bachelor, I guess that my email was submitted to other things. Long story short, I didn't make it on The Bachelor, obviously, but I kind of, you know, I was young. I was like 22 when I applied. It wasn't really, you know, I didn't take it serious. I was just kind of goofing around. I happened to be in Austin when they had the auditions. But long story short, they submitted my email. I would get casting calls randomly. And I got an email about 5 months ago. I can't say the name of the show, but I'll give you a hint. It's on an island. And if you're watching this video sometime during maybe January 2019, I'm assuming that's when the show is gonna air. Maybe you'll have an idea what I'm talking about, but it is a very old show that was out back in like 2001, 2002, and it's trying to make a comeback. Anyway, so I get an email and I submit my information, and I really didn't think they were gonna call me. It was you know, I can't even tell you this part because that'll give it away and I don't wanna get sued. I submit basically the application. The application is just basic information. Send a few pictures of yourself, I did. And then I get a call. I get a call from one of the producers, and she was like, hey, so we would like to take you to the next step. The next step, you'd really be talking to one of the other producers. She's just gonna ask you a couple of questions over the phone, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she calls me. At this time, I was like getting my lips done at Renew Beauty, my spot. So yeah, she calls me. I'm like fresh out of the friggin' doctors after I got my lips done and whatnot, asking me all these questions about my relationship, why I should be on the show, just about my life. Like, we were literally on the phone for a good 45 minutes. Anyway, get past that. A week later, I get an email saying that they would like to move me on to the next step. So this next step was really just, it was a Skype video chat. No. That's after. So the next step was submitting a video of myself, which is kind of like what I'm doing right now. They give you a series of questions that they want you to answer. All of this is very repetitive. So they asked me the same questions, but I have to submit a video. So I submitted a video literally last minute. She was like, okay, you have to get this done by Thursday at 4:30 at the latest, otherwise you're out. So I literally submit it like at 4:25. I kid you not, like 30 minutes later, she sends me, well, actually I get a call. She calls me, she's like, hey, I loved your video. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step. At this point, I'm like, there's no way in hell, this has to be a scam. Like, there's no way that they're like accepting me to, you know, do this. So the next step is the Skype interview with one of the top producers. And so the Skype interview is pretty much the same thing, just going over the same freaking questions again, but this is with like, I guess a higher level producer. So as I'm doing my interview, she's kind of just telling me what the next process will be like. Really what they were doing, they are getting footage and information about you. They recorded the Skype interview. So what this producer's job was pretty much to sell me to the top people, the people that actually pick the finalists. So basically she made a clip with all of my interviews, the video that I sent, pictures from my Instagram, things like that. So she pretty much put that video together, sent it to the producer. So the main producers then picked the finalists. So it was about 3 days before I got an answer. Within those 3 days, they sent me a background check, file to fill out. They send me the contract that goes in details to what I can and can't do, what I can't talk about. It was like a very, 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 very long process, and especially the background check. The background check probably took me a good hour just because they ask for all of your friends' information, their contact information. So during these 3 days, they're pretty much making you do this just in case you make it as a finalist. That way they have everything ready. So as I'm doing this, once I submitted all my stuff for the background check, a private investigator texts me. And he's like, hey, please let your 3 references know that I will be contacting them, and I do need to set up an appointment for them to have a conversation. At this point, I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, what dirt are they gonna try to dig up? Oh my goodness. So they ended up accidentally contacting my exes, and I'm like, oh my God, this is freaking ridiculous. They contacted my exes, and I started getting random text messages like, hey, why the hell did so-and-so just contacted me, asking me all sorts of things about you, like what's going on? And then the private investigator texted me. He's like, hey, I thought you let your people know that I was contacting them. I'm not gonna say his name, but let's just say Joe. Why did Joe just tell me that he had no idea I was contacting him? And I was like, what? I was like, first of all, Joe is not a reference. Joe is a freaking ex. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I must have contacted the wrong people. I'll let him know. Don't worry, I'll fix this and I'll contact the correct references. At this point, I'm like, oh my God, what if this really is a scam? This is so unprofessional. Like, or are they doing it on purpose? Trying to get more juice on me? I don't know. Anyway, we get past that, and at this point, it's kind of like a waiting game. I'm like, did I make the finalists? Like, it was like, again, it was like 3 days that I waited. On that 3rd day, I get a call, and I start freaking out because anytime it's a California number, I'm like, oh my God, it's them. They would contact me all the time. But this time I knew that if I got a call, it was regarding the finalist answer. So I get a call, and then it's this awesome, I don't know if he was a producer or a cast, I guess the people that get the cast together. But anyway, he calls me. He was like, hey, I just want to let you know, congratulations, you have made it to the finalists. You're going to LA. And I'm like, ah! At this point, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, no way in hell that I would make it to the finals. So at this point, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I'm like jumping up and down. Only like 2 or 3 people know. My coworkers know, and my sister knew, just because, you know, they're the only, first of all, I was kind of scared that this was a scam, and I had to tell my coworkers because they were already telling me, you need to start making preparations. Since you're a finalist, you kind of have to let them know that you might be away for a whole month without any communication. So they all knew, and so I let everybody know. I'm like, oh my God, I'm ready to the finals, I'm going to LA. So of course, I had vacation literally the week after I had to be in LA. Luckily, my manager was very understanding. She was like, you know what? We're going to make it happen. You're going to take Thursday, Friday before your vacation, and then just go ahead and take your vacation right after. So I fly out to LA, and I was so nervous because all of my friends were like, this is a scam. This is crazy. What, they're trying to kidnap you? I can't give you too many details on the hotel, but I did record a couple of things while I was there, showing you how nervous I was. I unfortunately didn't get a video right before my interview with the producers, just because they literally picked me up without letting me know. They were like, hey, we're here, we gotta go, we gotta move. But anyway, so I flew in Thursday afternoon. I landed in LA probably around 5. So they shuttle me to the hotel. Once I'm at the hotel, I was in my room. I kind of winded down a little bit, and I'm just gonna call my guy that was kind of like handling me. I'm just gonna call him Sam. So Sam texts me. He's like, hey, we're gonna pick you up in a couple of minutes. Just get your stuff ready, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to bring anything, just, get yourself ready. It's not the main interview, so just be comfortable, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay. Oh, let me backtrack a little bit. So there was a girl on my shuttle, and I'm like, this girl looks a little too done up. We're going to the same hotel in the shuttle. I was not allowed to talk to anybody on the plane, at the airport, or even at the hotel. Like, you're literally like prohibited from having any communication with anybody. So as soon as I get there, it starts feeling more official because I see people with walkie-talkies everywhere. So I'm like, okay, I'm not being kidnapped. I think this is official. This is a real thing. I let all my people know, and they're like, okay, good. So I did something I wasn't supposed to. So I asked the girl, I'm like, hey, are you here for the audition? Tell me why. This girl was like, no, I'm here to meet up with some friends. And I'm like, oh, my bad, never mind. Don't, you know, hey, do your own thing. So we're checking in, we check in, then we get back to the hotel. We go into our rooms. Okay, now back to when, Sam, whatever. Back to when my guy texted me. He was like, hey, we're gonna come get you from the room in about 30 minutes, so be ready. Those 30 minutes go by, I didn't even bother getting dressed. I went in my Lululemons and a fucking tank top just because I was so exhausted. I was tired from flying. And he texts me, he's like, okay, we're outside. I open the door, and they always escort you. Like, you cannot be alone with anybody. They make sure you don't run into other people. So they're like on walkie-talkies, they're like, hey, I have so-and-so. It's safe the coast is clear. You can go through. So then he picked me up with a couple other people. Guess who was there with him? Yes, the girl was with him. I was like, you fucking liar. I knew it. I knew you were part of the cast or part of the freaking people that might get on. Anyway, so we walk into the little room. It's where they have their conferences and stuff. So there's a bunch of people. You're not allowed to talk to anybody. I just sit in the back row. I see this guy. He was kind of like a country boy. I was like, fuck it. He seems safe. Let me sit next to him. He was trying to talk to me, kind of like, just because we're bored, we have nothing else to do, and we're stuck in this room for like 5 hours. So he was like, hey, what's your name? Blah, blah. Very low key. Like, this is literally how we were talking. We're like, hey, like, what's your Instagram? Here, add me. Like, literally like that, passing notes and stuff. And these people are monitoring like crazy. I met one of the other guys when I was about to head back to DFW at the airport. Actually, in the little lobby area before we took off to the airport, and he told me that somebody got kicked out because they could not stop talking to the other people. So that apparently they kicked him off, and he wasn't able to get on the show, or didn't even get the chance to interview with the producers. So, but anyway, back to the story. We literally, it was like 8 p.m. around this time when we first walked in there. We ordered our dinner. We literally were sitting there for a while filling out the same paperwork that they emailed us prior to freaking flying out to LA. So I'm like, oh my God, this is so redundant, so repetitive. It's so annoying. And it's like mentally exhausting. Physically too, because we were starving. So we're there doing all of that stuff. And then the psychologist comes out. So they also do a psychological evaluation. Now, prior to the psychological evaluation, they give you a 600 questionnaire that you have to fill out, and every single one of those questions is a long question. It's not like, hey, how old are you? Or hey, blah, blah, blah. I kid you not, that was the most miserable questionnaire I have ever done in my life. And I'm just like, at this point, my brain is fried. I'm tired. My eyes are red. I'm hungry. They haven't fed us, and this is 2 hours later than regular Dallas time. So technically, even though it was like 9-10 there, it was like 12 midnight my time. So I was exhausted. Anyway, we finished that, and then at this point, they escort us back into our rooms. They're like, okay, well, we got our food, and then they escort us back to the room. I took my food with me. Some people ate there, but I'm like, whatever. I am tired. I'm gonna eat in my room, however the fuck I want. So I get back into my room, and I got this guy's information. So this guy's like, hey, I've done this before. Apparently this guy has done like so many different auditions. He's applied for Big Brother and all these other shows. So he's kind of familiar with the process. I was a newbie on the other hand. So he was like, hey, you want to go grab some drinks? We're going to be here for a while. Might as well make the best out of it. So we did. Y'all, so I'm not gonna lie. So whenever I was in the casting thing, I sat next to this guy. This guy's like freaking cool. Like, he's really, really cool. So we just had some drinks. We were like legit hiding from the producers because we're all outside. So I met him around the corner of the hotel. Oh shit, he's here. Gotta go. Bye. Now this was kind of the tricky situation. So of course there's cast people everywhere. So we're like, okay, we're gonna have to do this the smart way. He leaves his room. He texts me. He's like, hey, there's another hotel down the street from here. He leaves, and then he texts me whenever he was already there. He's like, just meet me out at the bar. So whenever he gave me the okay that there was no people around, I went and met him up there. So we were there having a few drinks, and he was just telling me about how he did Big Brother and how this audition wasn't as serious. Like, I guess they weren't as strict. Apparently Big Brother, they take away your phone. You're there for a whole week. You really can't talk to anybody. There's no way in hell people are monitoring your freaking hotel room the entire time. And he was like, yeah, this one's super relaxed. Like, this is nothing compared to all the other shows that I've applied for. So I was like, wow, that's interesting. So I learned a lot. After this, we had a few drinks, went back to our rooms. That was it. Wake up in the morning, and I was so nervous. I could not sleep all night because this was the big day. This was when you actually meet the producer. So it's morning time here in LA, and I'm hungover. Maybe I shouldn't have gone out and drank last night, but I'm like, if I'm not gonna get on the show, might as well do something fun while I'm here. So yeah, I just got my breakfast. So I got some egg whites and all this good stuff, some toast. That's gonna be my only meal until I go back home. But yeah, I'm supposed to get ready. I should be ready by 11. And we're gonna meet them downstairs. We're gonna do all of the rest of the testing, which is it's probably the STD testing, the psych evaluation. We did the questionnaire yesterday, so they're now gonna evaluate us today, and we're gonna have the big interview with all the executives. So that's that. So I guess we'll see. I'm so nervous. Like, I could not sleep. I got back to my room like at 5, which is really 7 o'clock back in Dallas time, and 7 o'clock a.m. and I could not sleep. My mind was all over the place, and I'm nervous, and I was tossing and turning. I really didn't have to be up until like now, which is 10. Yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Nervous. And I'm rambling. Or directors, I don't know. So anyway, I have my interview, and it was literally super, super, super fast because they didn't pick us up from the hotel until like noon, and my flight was at 5. So I'm like, how am I gonna do this in 2 hours? So they pick me up. I go back into the little room. I see some people are missing, and I'm like, okay, I guess the process has started. So they take me directly into the interview room. Well, on our way to the interview room, we're like hiding from all the other cast people. Like, they're like, okay, it's safe to go now. So we literally walked from the elevator to the hallway, from the hallway to the other hallway, from the other hallway to the other hallway. And we literally stopped there while they were bringing people out because we weren't allowed to see each other. So it was just a surreal process. And then finally, when I'm in the interview room, there's like, it's literally like a group interview. Like, there's all these directors in front of me. It's like 2 guys, 3 girls, lights everywhere. Like, it was being filmed. So I go in there, and I don't know how I pulled the confidence out of my ass, but I was just like, hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. Granted, they hype you up before you go in there. They're like, they're so excited to meet you. They've read all about you. They've seen your videos. So they're really, really excited to see the real you. So I go in there and I kill it. Like, I mean, it was amazing. I did really, really well. So I was pretty confident with my interview, although the only thing that I wasn't too confident about was just my body, just because I'm not like super, super fit, especially at that time. I had just gotten back from vacation. So I was fluffy, and it's a island video. So of course you're in a bikini and stuff all the time. So I'm like, that will be my downfall. If they're just like, well, you know, it's on TV, she doesn't look the part. That's my only downfall, because everything else went great. So, and I mean, I was kind of comparing all the people that were there with me. There was one girl, which now I know she made it on. She had a killer body, and I was like, you know, it's gonna be between me and her. Like, I already know, and she has the body. I may have the face, but she has the body. So apparently she got declined from another show that she was auditioning for that same day, and they told her, this is a better fit for you. So that's what happened. She interviewed and everything, just like we all did. The two guys that I met, well, neither of them made the show either. So it was like, just my luck. All the people that I meet don't make the show. I'm like, I can't even make famous friends. But I did hear that she did make the show. She's from Houston. And then the guy that she was talking to, he also made it. And I was kind of surprised about that guy because he wasn't very attractive. He was very fit, but his face was just, you'll see. He kind of looked like Harry Potter. He had Harry Potter glasses, but you'll know who I'm talking about in January. But yeah, so after that, flew back home, got ready. Literally that night, I had to pack and everything and fly right back out to my family vacation in Puerto Vallarta. So I was like, I really hope they tell me if I made it or not. That way I can eat whatever the fuck I want on this vacation. Otherwise, I have to get my shit together. I'm gonna be on an island for a month in a bikini being filmed. I need to get my shit together. Tell me why we waited. I was texting the people that I got to know during the casting. They were like, I haven't heard anything. We're like, what the fuck? Like, did we not make it? Are they just gonna ghost us like that? Like, I mean, we were the finalists. They should at least have the decency to tell us we didn't make it. So when was it? Oh yeah, so I come back from vacation. It was like a whole week. I come back from vacation. If I would have made it, so I came back from vacation September the 28th. If I would have made it, October the 5th would have been, no, September, I'm sorry, oh my God. August the 28th was when I came back. If I would have made it, we were supposed to fly out September the 5th. So I'm like, okay, we only have like 5 days to find out whether we made it or not before we fly out. Like, what the fuck, we need to make preparations. So literally like 2 days, well, it was like 3 days before they fly you out, we get an email saying, oh, hey, you know, we really liked you. If we didn't like you, we wouldn't have flown you out. We saw a lot of potential in you. We will keep you in mind for future opportunities, but unfortunately you didn't make it on the show. I'm not gonna lie. I was trying so hard not to get my hopes up, and that made me so upset. I was like, no, because I had my hopes up low key, and I'm like, oh my God, I was started making all these preparations, and you know, it's kind of like even though you made it to the finals, like you got to experience that, it's still kind of like a low blow, because it's like, why didn't I get on? Like, what about me did they not like? Am I not good enough? Am I not pretty enough? I know it had to do with my body. It wasn't like perfect like that other girls was, but I was bummed out. And you know, I was texting the guy that also didn't make it, and we just constantly tell each other like, fuck, like I don't even want to watch this show because I am so salty about what happened. But yeah, we didn't make it on, but it was definitely a freaking amazing experience. And who knows, like the show that I really, really want to get on was The Bachelor. So maybe next year, we'll see. But that is all. It was, if you have any questions or if you ever done this before, I'd love to hear your experience. Again, I can't tell you what show it was, but I'm pretty sure you can kind of figure it out. But that is all. I will be uploading some of the videos from the stuff that I recorded while I was there, and I hope you like it. Let me know if you've experienced something similar.